There's a war going on in the books. Can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna call the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for a Thursday, a sports betting Thursday with a light Major League Baseball card, and we've got playoff action tonight in the NBA and NHL, one in the NBA and two on the ice. And we should have a pretty fun day. We got golf ready to start here in a little bit. Tennis is underway as well. So thank you for joining me here. What's going on in the comments? Let's see here. Man, we got a lot of excitement over there with a lot of only got a dozen of you in here, and we got 50 messages. That sounds great to me. I'm glad you guys have some great conversation in the chat. Let's say hello to some folks and get the show started here today as we get ready for our day. I'm a little, man, I spent some a little bit down here today, not 100%, but ready to go. Great to see everyone here. And let's go to the chat. Luca thinks Twisted has Luca going back to Dallas. How about that? Yeah, I would want to be part of. Well, I don't know. I like those people up in LA, but hey, Cash Kane's here today. He rolled with the Celtics in the first half, and he had the Knicks on that money line to roll last night with the underdog play there. And who else is going to be coming in here? Laker boy. He had those Knicks on the money line. Everyone had the Knicks on the money line today. And let's see here. And Cash King had a big day with his show picks yesterday. Good to see him here in the chat. Bring us more winners here today. And just a little two-way back and forth. Great to see some great conversation there in the chat. Really thank you guys for getting us started in there. Robert McCormick is here today as well. So get ready for our day. Hey, golf, like I said, ready to go here. Let me get through the comments here real quick. Just a lot of back and forth conversation, so let me kind of skip through it here. Good morning to Keith. Just Truth back today. Good to see you. Stop Geo here as well. Richard Lockhart. Wow, it's great to see Richard back here with us in the chat. He's got the Phillies to roll today and Twins not to bat in the bottom of the ninth inning. And Bobby Mack says it was a PSG with they rolled there yesterday, or not rolled, but got the win. I guess they rolled if you count the two games together here. And well, with our Thursday today, not a huge day in the world of international football, right? We've got some action in Mexico tonight. We've got one game in the championship today with Sheffield and Bristol, and Europa League is ready to go for you guys with Bilbao and Manchester United, probably the feature there. And Tottenham will go up against Bodo again. So we're winding down in Europa play. But want to let everyone know, just as we get started here on the show today, that, oh man, we do have our golf action coming up with the Truist event here, a new event on the PGA Tour of a no-cut field. They are underway in the other tour event. They're playing in Myrtle Beach today, and that event has started. But the big event, of course, is the Truist Championship in Pennsylvania here today. And just want to let everyone know that the video is up and ready to go from the guys here this week. So if you want to check it out over on the videos tab, the guys have their picks for the Truist Championship. Check out the video. The tournament is about to start here in about a little less than 2 hours. Oh, let me get that going. My paper is so light today with the limited games, it blew away. The tournament starts here in less than 2 hours, so you can check out the video from the guys over underneath the videos tab as they previewed the Truist Championship. This is a very strong field, a limited field. There's no cut this week, so get some plays in here if you want for the Truist Championship here today. Again, a real solid field here. This one, I think it used to be held this week's stop anyway, and they just moved it and added a new title sponsor and made this one a little bit more of an exclusive event here this week. So, say it's a new event, it's not necessarily a new stop, but I think um, they ramped it up here a little bit, I guess is the best way to say it with this particular tournament. So we should have a very good tournament this week at the Philadelphia Cricket Club here, but this has been a stop that has been won by some top names for sure in the past. So it is kind of, I don't know to call it a signature event necessarily, but you can see by the field here, not all the superstars are here this week, PGA superstars anyway this week, but certainly a good field. Check it out over there under the videos tab. If you want to go and come back, that's fine too, because the tournament starts and we'll be just getting off the air, I think, when they first tee off. But you can also get my plays for the Truist Championship over at winnable.com. I've got it underneath my free plays this week. So you can go to winnable.com/Ramon and get my plays for the Truist Championship. I have my best 6 golfers here. The way I go is I usually have a couple of shorter shots and maybe a couple of medium shots and a couple of long shots, and I like to use them in different ways. I don't tell you how to bet in golf because I know everyone's a little bit different, but you can use some for to win the tournament. You can use them in top 5s, top 10s, top 20s, and you can tier your plays a little bit as well. You don't have to go the same amount. All you do is a favorite as you do on the longest shots. You might even go more on the favorite if you like it, or maybe bump up the long shot if you like my pick or your own picks. And of course, in those tournament matchups, I will like all of my golfers, of course, because in tournament matchups, they're usually matched up against someone pretty even, and I prefer my golfers this week. So if you do want some more plays, in addition to the guys, you can go over to winnable.com and you can check out my plays for the Truist Championship over there. And that's underneath the free tab. Yes, I have a paywall with some plays behind there. And we also have the free plays over there. Choose the amount that says 0. You'll be hooked up with me. And not only do you get the golf, but you'll get some other plays throughout the week as well. Usually send out 1 or 2 packages of free selections every day. And then on the paid subscriptions there, it's just $3 a day, $8 a week, or $19.95 a month. That's 56 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM. And I send out usually between I'd say 1, 2, sometimes as many as 3 or 4 updates right now. We're obviously in a little bit of a limited schedule here as we get rolling to the summer, and we'll be, giving out plays in some of the other summer sports as those get rolling along, such as the WNBA. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of that. So really appreciate it, and that's how you support me here on the channel. Okay, let's do a little review here anyway. We got some time today, it feels like, here today. And let's see who else is coming in here. We do said he had the Knicks, he had over in the Knicks game, Tampa under. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Uh, Good morning to Truth Teller. He's the truth teller, and I'm the truth seller. Hope everything's going great, Truth. Feel honored that you're stopping by to say hello here in the chat. Good to see you, NYC Bar as well. And Futon Bet says he likes Minnesota first five money line today, and why not? We have just 9 major league games today, and one of them is a doubleheader from that rain out a couple of nights ago. So all right, let's cover some of the action from yesterday, shall we? With that incredible Knicks game, it should have been the headline, right? Not only did I have the Knicks yesterday here on the show, you know who else did? You guys did. What a great call, you guys. Yes, maybe we were taking the points. That's kind of what we do here on the show, but I already see some of you guys talking money line in the chat. And Team Steam had the Knicks yesterday plus those points on the consensus play. Just a great call by the chat to go ahead and ignore kind of the numbers there that I had kind of mentioned about how those teams that were big favorites and lost the game would actually come back to win and cover many, many times. But well, didn't happen. The Knicks won for the second game in a row after trailing by more than 20 points. It's already an NBA record for the most 20-point deficits ever overcome in a postseason. So, just a wild playoffs we're seeing here. And man, it's just weird. The playoffs are weird, right? You get some weird low scoring games, some teams that can't even find the basket. Then you get a high score with our other game as well. We'll talk about in a second. Just strange. You got to be on the right side. We were yesterday with the New York Knicks here on the show. Great job. They lead 2-0. Mitchell Robinson is the key player in this series. When he is on the floor, the Knicks are practically unstoppable. So far in the 2 games with Robinson on the floor, they are plus 32 in the old plus minus. So he is the man out there. It doesn't hurt that the Celtics missed 13 straight shots there in the fourth quarter. Boston led by 20, but get Robinson in there, and he changes the complexion of the game. He's not a dominant player, but he's just very heady when he moves the ball around a little bit on offense. And he certainly is a bit of a presence in there defensively. So Mitch Rob he's been the MVP. Brunson's been the MVP. We know that, but when you've got a guy like this that comes into the game and changes the complexion of the game, that's a big, big boost. So, so the Knicks lead 2-0, and I was startled by the series price here. The Knicks are expected now to win the series, but you look at the series price, and it's funny because I was in some of the chat rooms last night, and I said, "What are the Knicks going to be? Minus 225 now to win the series with a 2-game?" No, they're not. I guess that's why I'm not an odds maker. Right now, the Boston Celtics are they're favored at some books. Some books have it to pick them. There's a couple books that have the Knicks, but I mean it's only minus 115 one way or the other. I think most of the books have kind of moved to Boston as a favorite. Imagine that. You only need to win 2 of the next 5 games if you're the New York Knicks and you got the next 2 at home and you are actually still an underdog in this series. That is a huge amount of disrespect. Oh, I'm sure the Boston Celtics will round it up and come on back. They might even win the next 4 straight. These guys are so good. But it does look like super huge value to me on the New York Knicks at basically a pick 'em to win this series. You're not going to put it past Boston at this point, but there is some kind of dysfunctionality in Boston here at this point, the way that they squandered the lead once again in that game. So just interesting to note that basically the series is a pick 'em from here on out. It's not like the Knicks are or Boston is taking on a middle tier team. The Knicks are obviously a very, very good team. And no, there's no doubt that, we've given everyone gives Thibodeau question marks, it seems like, but he's outcoached Missoula here at this point. So just an incredible result last night with an incredible comeback. And I don't know, you kind of felt for Boston there a little bit because it seemed like they couldn't stop the bleeding when it came down to the late games there. Don't forget about Miles Bridges again with did he even score in the first 3 quarters of the game? And then he had the 14 points in the fourth quarter, and for the second straight game, had the big steal there at the end of the game. So the Knicks will go home with a 2-0 lead there, and Boston, kind of uncomfortable there with the Celtics. All right. Also, how about the performance by the Oklahoma City Thunder? I didn't know that these are the ones where I have trouble with. I guess this is what separates the elite bettors from me because I just want to take the points and figure you got the best player in the game. But again, maybe the Nuggets are the team that paces themselves a little bit. It doesn't feel like they're out of this series at all. It doesn't feel like just because they lost by 43 points in the 149-106 victory that the Nuggets are done necessarily. They did get their win on the road. They do have the home court advantage. Oklahoma City led by 31 points at halftime, shot 16 of 36 from 3-point range and did a great job there as they destroyed Denver with those 87 points in the first half. They nearly led by 50. So sometimes when you see that, you could say maybe there is too much of a discrepancy despite Denver being able to steal that first game. There, the Thunder had 10 3-pointers in the first half, and that led, like I said, 124-76 to start the fourth quarter. So the series is tied there at one apiece now, and I had the Thunder there, and I had the Nuggets there, and that was the wrong call. Obviously, there I couldn't really hit the totals yesterday, and that's kind of where I've been pretty good, but certainly there. Give credit to the best team in the league record-wise this season, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe this is the one they needed to kind of build their confidence back up and realize that they are the best team here at this point after what we've seen with Boston. Oklahoma City has to be thinking they're distancing themselves, but still they are not they don't have that home court edge, so they'll have to work it out still here in this series. And there's another series ahead of that, and who will it be? Because we know as we get into the preview tonight the situation with Steph Curry and his absence here from the lineup. All right, let me talk to the chat here again real quick, and then we'll get rolling here a little bit with a little bit more conversation and then some previews here today. Also joining us here in the chat is the Futon, let's see, Nine Legacy Celtics. They're not looking too good in that one. He says he thinks a conspiracy theory is in. I think the Celtics are just dysfunctional. It feels like Sancho says now that the Knicks are home, the Celtics will win on the road. They're better on the road, says Sancho. And Twisted said last year was too easy and Boston ended up looking really good. Nate Cerna's here. He's ready to sing and dance with me. There, Robert McCormick talking about KP and that illness or whatever's going on there. And Nate Cerna says, hey, take the Twins. In this early game. It's not 230 though, is it? I thought it was like $1.60 or something, but yeah, $1.50 or so. But like I said, I had to sleep in a little bit. Man, I got knocked out here, and for the last man, seems like 24, just not doing too great. We were okay yesterday. I feel pretty good. So, okay, I think that's it right now there in the chat. Let's talk about the action from the NHL last night, shall we? With our 2 games there and some excitement on the ice yesterday with the Maple Leafs knocking off Florida 2-0. for the Maple Leafs. Mitch Marner with the goal there, and also Nylander scored as well. And Wool, what can you say about that? Wool with the got it done. That's what we can say. He got it done. He came through. Like I said, you know, I get it. You go with the hot hand in the playoffs, but eh, you know, like I said, Wool had plenty of time in there this season, as much as anybody. It felt like there, but yeah, you lose the hot hand maybe, and that's what happens. But he made 25 saves, many of them of a clutch variety. It felt like so. The Leafs were able to take that 2-0 lead with the 4-3 win there yesterday, and that's good news for a Toronto team that is a top seed. They're expected to win that series, but Florida gained favoritism because, well, their championship experience. They've got some great offensive talent in there, but a great job by Toronto to make sure they held serve at home before going on the road. Yeah, I had Florida here on the show. You guys had Florida. That uh, kind of sent our consensus parlay to the ground with the Panthers yesterday in Florida, losing the game. So, but great job there. Marner had that third period game winner, as I said, for Toronto, and they continue to roll on. Great job there for Toronto to get their wins when there was a lot of question marks going into that series against a favored Florida Panthers, and that has changed obviously the complexion of the odds in that. Even though uh, Florida had moved to favoritism, unlike some of the basketball or whatever. Toronto's now 225 to win the series, despite the fact that all they did was win their home games as a number one seed, as an underdog there a little bit. So Florida will have to play from behind, if you know what I mean. Also, Western Conference here yesterday, and take a look at the matchup between Dallas and Winnipeg, and Dallas wins it on the road. Very, very key. Dallas had that lead 3-2, and they held on late for the win. Yes, I had Dallas here on the show yesterday. How about Mikko Rantanen? Man, this guy's having a great postseason, isn't he? And now we'll head back to Dallas 4 games. Uh, ooh, pardon me, guys. Games 3 and 4 in the series here. After the 3-2 win there yesterday by the Stars, going back to no, they're not. Still game 2. Okay, clear the mind here. So game 1 win there for Dallas to open the series at Winnipeg. So game 2 coming up here. Don't let me not get ahead of myself here. In this one, remember, the thing was Florida and Toronto, of course, started their series ahead of these teams, so they're up to 2 games already, and the rest of them have 1 game. So good win there, so certainly for Dallas, and they are expected to win the series here right now. They are already up to minus 360 in that series right now with that win to get things going. All right. We'll talk hockey today with our 2 games again, Carolina and Washington, game number 2 after Carolina won the opener, and of course Edmonton and Vegas, with Edmonton leading here 1-0. So let's see who else is joining us here. We got already the right amount to get the show started, but I do want to talk a little Major League Baseball here because we've got a short card. And Sancho says you got the crazy playoffs. Dogs are barking there. And Sancho says we got cursed teams possibly here. We do. Liked Buxton in his performance yesterday. And Nathan says he'll take the Panthers first period money line when they meet again. And he says the Jets on the money line here today, or in the next one, I think is what he's saying there. All right. Hey, Major League Baseball yesterday. Let's talk a few of the games anyway. I'd like to at least cover some of the uh, games and winners that I was able to come up with yesterday. I had a pretty okay day, it felt like, in Major League Baseball, including the over in that Cleveland Washington game early there with. Cleveland dominating Washington there in the end. Washington led 3-0, no problem for the Guardians. Santana 3-run double to tie the game, and Cleveland went on for the win. And we did have the over. Team consensus was with me on Washington there yesterday, so didn't quite work out. But I did have a winner here yesterday on the show with the St. Louis Cardinals on the run line. And you guys had them. Team Steam consensus winner yesterday with the Cardinals in that win over the Pirates. Sonny Gray, two hitter. You guys, I don't want to say you guys, the public continues to kind of fade Gray sometimes, but seems like the veteran still can turn it up at a moment's notice and have a good outing, right? Solid outings for Sonny Gray. I think that's what you get from him. But against the Pirates, he was dominant. And we did have a premium pick winner on the under in that game yesterday as well. Pittsburgh's one of the worst teams for sure now at 12-26. Also, I had a winner here with the under in the game between San Francisco and the Cubs. Team Steam did go with the Cubs yesterday. I went with the total there. Robbie Ray does it again. He's got 2.83 ERA right now, and San Francisco got that win on the road with Ray. Impressive again as the Giants were able to do it. Also, I had a winner here on the show with the A's last night. Even though the Mariners got the win, they could only win by 1 run, and we were able to hang on in there with our play there with the A's as I took them there on the run line. 6-5 was the final in that one. Kind of a wild game there. It was 5-5 late. Rowdy Tellez hit a 3-run home run for Seattle, and the A's did blow a lead there, but I still got the win on the run line with the Oakland Athletics. Also, I had a winner here on the show with the Dodgers on the run line. Well, sometimes you gotta take them where you can get them, and they crushed Miami behind Landon Knack, but it was mostly the offense there. You guys had them team consensus Dodgers to roll there yesterday over Miami, and I did have a premium pick winner on the over yesterday. Freddie had a 3-run triple. James Outman, he's back with the Dodgers. Try it again for try it again for James Outman here with the team. Maybe he can be better this time, but he did a 3-run home run in that game. And talk about Landon Knack, did do pretty well. 5 innings, no earned runs there for Knack. I had a premium pick winner yesterday in the Texas-Boston game to go over. It kind of chased that steam a little bit, but Briggs had a home run and a 2-run single for Boston as they got the win, but I did have a premium pick winner on the over. I also took here yesterday the Philadelphia Phillies. They're dominating that series right now with Tampa Bay. They crushed them again behind Trey Turner. Home run, RBI single, Trey Turner and the Phillies rolled. I also had a premium pick winner on the under in that game as Sanchez was able to lead the Phillies to the win over Tampa Bay. How about a winner here for me yesterday on the show with Cincinnati and Atlanta game to go under. We had it there with the Reds and the Braves. TJ Friedel did hit a 2 home runs actually for the Reds to knock off the Braves yesterday. I thought the Braves would be the side, but still had the under at least here on the show. Also had the Minnesota Twins here on the show yesterday with Simeon Woods Richardson, and the Twins were able to get that win there behind, you guys mentioned it, Buxton in the chat, that 3-run home run for Minnesota. We also did, though, have the premium pick winner on the under yesterday. I know it's kind of hard with that pitching matchup. Everybody's a little sus on that one between Morton and Woods Richardson, but we stuck with the under and got it done there with that 5-2 win for Minnesota. And also, we did have the Detroit Tigers here on the show on the run line with Jackson Jobe and the Tigers getting that win. It was Javi Baez. Remember me, says Javi, with 4 RBIs in the game, and they won it 8-6 after a wild game. It was 6-6 after 3 innings, but only 2 runs after that. And it was Detroit getting the 2 runs to win the game and cover the run line. And you guys had them too. Don't forget, Team Steam Consensus had Detroit. And late night, I couldn't make it. I couldn't go all the way last night because I wasn't doing too great. I woke up to find out the Angels had won that game last night over the Toronto Blue Jays. So I did have a premium pick winner there. I don't think they were looking too good there, but what happened? All I know was 4-2 Toronto. I think when I went to bed, I couldn't make it anymore. Not feeling great, but they did come back and win that game last night, 5-4. It was a walk-off there last night for the Angels. Okay, let's put yesterday. I'd like to. I don't want to forget it. Wasn't an awful day, but it was for me. So, okay. Few more in the chat here. Hello, everyone. We'll get started with the show, of course. Here, let's see. Lion Legacy says take Capitals and the Oilers in a puck line parlay today. And Nathan had some good NCAA yesterday. I couldn't get a lot of work done there in the afternoon. Man, maybe it was the. Let's see here. We can't go with Winnipeg. And he says We is going to be wearing, or Arizona's going to be wearing the Serpientes jerseys, apparently. And he says, what's Leaning Pizza going to do? I thought he was talking about the Pope betting there as we're trying to wait for the Pope. I went with Pizza Balla. I had to go with Pizza Balla as the next Pope. Jerry Davis says what we're all thinking with, or at least what I'm thinking, right, with Mitch Robb in there. And that's it. Let's start the show, shall we? We can knock this one out relatively quick. Here, I might need one more nap to get me back to 100%. And that didn't last long, but just getting too old. Okay, here we go with the show here today with the Warriors and the Timberwolves. Let's get it started, shall we? And we know, what can you say after our game 1 here with the Timberwolves? Can they do it today, considering where we stand in the series? What's wrong with my graphic here? I can't seem to get it going. Here we go. I'll just have to do it again here. I don't know what's going on. Okay. There we go. 10.5 and 201.5 here with this one. Is that really the way it's going to go down here today with the Warriors taking on the Timberwolves after the Warriors were able to get that victory despite what happened to Steph Curry? We saw him again, how bizarre it was, right? And what a bizarre game it was to have the Warriors get that big lead. Curry goes out. They're still able to do it without Curry. They might be able to do it without Curry. There's enough shooters on this team to spread those attempts around, it feels like, when it comes to talking about Steph Curry and the Warriors here. Doesn't feel like 10.5. Is Steph Curry really worth that many points to a lineup here when you got shooters like Heald, Pajemski, these guys can certainly step up in the absence of Curry. It's not like Curry does anything for you necessarily defensively. He does maybe more with his leadership there a little bit and the way he's able to rally his team somewhat. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like some of the numbers would indicate. Certainly, I think a lot of numbers would indicate that they're just as fine without him on the floor defensively. Yes, it's always great to have such a great shooter in there right now, but it's going to be, by all reports, about a week here. You don't know. He hasn't had this injury before, but you look at how these type of strains, that's the good news. With a hamstring strain, he only played 13 minutes in that game, so probably going to miss. Maybe you could see where you stand in this series. You got the 1-0 lead. You can see where it stands when you get down. Should the Minnesota Timberwolves win this game, and look, they're supposed to win. So, see when you get, your back against the wall or something like that, right? Go back home, see if you can win the 2 games at home without him there, and then see where you stand. Now, if you lose one of those 2 and you lose the home court advantage back, maybe game 5 would be the one that Curry could come back to. Or game 6, should they fall behind 3-2. Again, we'll just have to wait and see with all this. Let's go to the chat a little bit and see, you know, yes, you could look at some trends a little bit, but when you're looking at a big injury, a key injury here, you just kind of have to kind of play it by ear. And what do you think will happen with this top player, out of the lineup? Minnesota has covered 10 of their last 15 games overall. Coming in, they've won 7 of their last 8 at home, but probably mostly about the spread here, of course, in this game with such a monster spread here. Warriors 4-1 in their last 5 games against Minnesota overall. Minnesota 10-5 against the spread in their last 15. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat, and I'll get to it right now. Here we go. All right. Trying to find it here. You guys are fire here in the chat today, man. Today. All right. Will lost there. He might have had Toronto in that one. Will, what happened? That was a premium winner there. I did have the under as a loser there on the show, but I did have the Angels premium pick winner last night, but I'm not going to. Let's see here. Terrell said, let's see here. Nate likes a Nerfy. Good morning to DB Gnarly. We had some fun last night hanging out in a few chat rooms. I was able to make it to some chat rooms by the end of the night there at least. Jerry Timberwolves first half. Sancho Timberwolves first half. This is a lot of Timberwolves support here for sure. This is money line though. Dumb money line. And Nate concerned about man, you guys. I'm glad it's a short show today. Good morning to Philly Eagle Flyer here today. And 9 Legacy Timberwolves against the spread. And the 30 is at Ant-Man. Oh, yeah, Ant-Man. There, the thing read it wrong. Wolves will beat up on the sea. Okay, you guys are not seeing it. I don't think. I mean, you guys are seeing it different than the way I am here. Yeah, Draymond's not going to go off from 3, but he shouldn't be expected to, right? There's plenty of shooter. I mean, there's guys that can shoot on Golden State there, but we know that was just a kind of a rare circumstance. Let's see here. Nate Wolves first half. It's a lot of Wolves action for sure. Jerry says Warriors. Um, I don't know. I don't know if that is the case. He said he heard it, so I don't know. Maybe it is, but there's no doubt that the record for the Warriors overall without Curry in the lineup is decidedly worse, for sure. I think long term the numbers will show him. Man, has Curry missed 12 playoff games in his career? Trevor likes the over here. Robert likes the Timberwolves. Sanchez says Draymond ain't doing all that again. Well, we know that. That would be. Me and Nate, we're struggling here a little bit. JW says Buddy's going to get clamped down in this game by the uh, Timberwolves here. So these are the ones, right, where I always have, like I said, going yesterday with um, Denver, for example. Now, there might be a little bit of difference here between that situation and this situation still, but all right. I guess that's it for you guys here in this one. And man, are they really going to hold them down here big time like that in this game tonight? I don't buy it. I'm taking the Golden State Warriors here plus the points. Look, I think I've got guys who can do it in the absence of Steph. Look, we love, hey, Steph is great. We love Steph here. I appreciate everyone. I feel like I might be the only one willing to take the Golden State Warriors here, plus these 10.5 points today. JW says it is too many points still, but we kind of said that last night, right? I said that with Denver and OKC. But look, we know you got Gary Payton. The man can play some defense. Maybe not quite like his dad, but still, he's going to be bossed up with Ant Man for sure there, but going to need Heal to step up. It's a tough matchup for him, especially matched up if he when he's matched up against McDaniels, and Gobert can have a big game, of course, probably against Draymond. Hey, Nuke says, smash this. Let me get this going here. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Thank you, Nuke. Appreciate that. All right. And I think that is going to do it for the game here tonight with Golden State. They lead that 1-0. So, they could. I'd almost be. I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, if Curry was in the lineup, I'd fade Golden State, but the line would be different. I don't know if it necessarily should be. I think maybe a little bit of. I think people forget that these shooters, right, with Heald, with did I mention there's a guy named Jimmy Butler on the team as well? Now we don't necessarily, I don't think we've seen, Jimmy needing necessarily to step up, right? He still had 20 points in that win the other night, and 11 rebounds and 8 assists, so he was strong as well. You got the master, if you will, in Steve Kerr here. And look, we do know that Curry has missed some games here. And again, the record is bad with Curry out of the lineup, but I think those are just more, regular season contests and all that. So, all right, let's see here. We says, I don't know if I get hello to Jermaine in the chat as well. All right. All right. Guess we'll just leave well enough alone here and move on. It sounds like I'm not on the same side with you guys necessarily in this one. I still kind of point to, just as I did in game one, the Warriors, a terrific road team this season against the spread here, and the Timberwolves were a poor home favorite for sure this season. They were poor at home, and they were also poor as a favorite as well. They were just 27-36 against the spread as a favorite. Nine Legacy says the Timberwolves are the better team. They have stronger players, a bigger team game, and see what happened with the Nuggets last night. All right. And appreciate that, everybody. And I'll take the Golden State Warriors here in this one against the Timberwolves. All right, let's move to the hockey right now, shall we? With two great games here tonight. After game one, we saw the Carolina Hurricanes win in game one to take a 1-0 lead over the Washington Capitals. Here you talk about teams that were, favored against the team that had the better record. That's what you're getting here again with the Capitals, right? Carolina. Look, I don't know where the disrespect or the public sentiment comes from necessarily, but they were able to get it done here, and they've looked pretty terrific, obviously, in the postseason uh, so far with their uh, 4-1 series win over New Jersey and then winning game one as well, just 2-1 in that uh, first game here between these two, right? And like I said, even though Carolina did win the game 2-1, I portrayed the game as a Carolina team that likes to
Critical notice.
almost. Use their puck control, use their possession game to keep the puck away from the other team with that checking as well. And that's pretty much what got it done. And holding Washington to just one goal, that was important too. So, how will it fare tonight when you've got Carolina favored again and Washington kind of desperate here to get the win? Right, down 1-0. They've already lost their home ice advantage here to Carolina. You have Freddie Anderson. Look, no one doubts that Frederick Anderson can, I don't want to know if it's saying turn back the clock necessarily. We know Anderson probably was better in previous years and maybe he is now. But like I said, maybe Freddie just, he was battling to get back to the ice this season a little bit. So he's only played a couple of dozen games really so far this season, but the numbers are okay with a 90% save percentage and a 13-8-1 record overall. And not only that, 2.5 goals against average is certainly manageable here for Freddie. And for Logan Thompson, we know how great he's been this season. I mean, he's got a 31-6-6 record overall, also a 2.5 goals against average here coming into this one. But it does feel like, Carolina with their scoring here a little bit. Now, granted, they only got 2 goals in the last game, but look who was able to get those goals. You had guys like Stanky doing the Stanky leg in that game, and Slavin also after Washington had taken the 1-0 lead here. Does feel like it's going to be tight again. That's just the way it goes. It feels like in Hurricanes games right now. Let's go to the chat and see the way you want to play it, though. Here in game number 2 tonight with the Hurricanes taking on the Caps here in Washington. Going to the chat right now to see what you have. Carolina has won 9 of the last 13 meetings now between the two teams coming in. Although, like we said, Carolina was struggling on the road for sure down the stretch. Washington's gone under in 5 straight games at home. Carolina under in 4 of their last 6. Obviously, the last game as well. Here we go. Cash Kane says, Canes. Cash Kane, of course. It says take the Canes here. And Caps -1 here for Jerry. Caps for Philly Eagle Flyers. So, wow, we're getting some Caps action
Critical
too.
notice.
Also here, just want to mention, let me take the well, I'll just pass this along because we do have a little bit of breaking news here this morning. Not a major story, but a pitching change. for Minnesota. This one was, I think, a surprise here a little bit. Ryan was expected to start in that early start against Baltimore, but now Bailey Ober has been moved to the starter. We'll get to the baseball here in just a moment. Probably shouldn't affect the line too much, Ryan for Ober, but there is a pitching change for Minnesota, and Bailey Ober will be going instead of Joe Ryan. Just want to mention that. Here, let's go to the chat, though. Again, get back to the hockey. Jerry says, could be over now after the first one was low scoring. Cash Kane says, the Caps have been so strong at home this season, right? Let's see. Hello to Sancho today. Thank you. And let's see what Kelly's here today. And she says, what does she says? Is it a play on under 6? She does say it moved. Right now, the line, I believe, 5.5 over 15, maybe 5.5 over 20, but feels like over 15. I don't know if I can get 5.5 over 20 anywhere. 9 legacy here, Capitals and Oilers, puck line parlay. I think that's what it looks like there. Here is Robert. He likes the under in this one still. And Cash Kane is upset with that pitching change, but he said he'll still rock with the Twins, right? Maybe it's not a terrible downgrade there from Ryan to Ober. If it is, seems like kind of the same guy out there, huh? All right. I'll go ahead and make my call here in this one with Carolina and Washington here today. And for me, I'm going to go with the under as my play once again here. I think Carolina is able kind of to dictate here. Great job getting 2 goals. Let's see here. Kelly says, no, I mean, move it to 6. So, no, I mean, move it to 6. All right. She wants the line to move to 6 so she can take the under. Is that what? Maybe I'm getting it. Okay. And Jerry said he saw it coming. He said the book had already switched there a little bit. All right, gang. So go ahead here if you got one more minute here, but I'm going to take the under in this one with Carolina and Washington tonight. You can figure so far, both teams have played 6 games right here in the postseason so far, and both teams are 2-4 to the under, and Washington's 0-4 to the under at home so far in these playoff games. So if they're going to have a downfall, maybe it is in the scoring department here, right? Yes, Ovechkin was hot, but the games are heating up and the defense is heating up, especially for a solid defensive unit like Carolina. Again, it is hard to fathom, maybe, that Washington, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, is an underdog, started an underdog in this series. So they're going to need one here. They're going to need another big effort from Thompson and find that scoring here tonight. But I'll take the under as my play. And Terrell says it'll be a fast start and a slow end, and he likes the under. We do says. He says, I think the Caps there. I'm not sure. Nuke says, got to take the plus money here with the Caps. And Kelly says, move the line to 6, take the super juice. I can agree with, to me, look, everyone says, hey, you don't want to lay a big number like this, right? But it's the same thing if you go over 5, for example. I mean, in hockey, I've said it time and time again. What are we really going to do here? There's going to be 4 goals, 5 goals, or 6 goals, or 7 goals. Not much you can do. It's not like a basketball game where the total's 221 and it might end up going to 180. In hockey, you're going to have a couple of goals probably in the postseason.
Final.
And I think those goals are valuable now. All right, My favorite has just won her match. Danielle Collins wins. Easy. 6-3, 6-3. I'm also watching Paolini and Lulu Sun over here in some tennis action this morning. All right, Cash Cane says maybe it'll go overtime. Philly Eagle Flyer says caps, puck line, and under for a little parlay there. That's basically a minus 109, he says. Philly Eagle Flyer says could be a regulation draw in all these games here. All right, let's move on to the next one here. I think you guys got your plays in. I'll take the under in that one. Let's go next to the Oilers and taking on the Golden Knights, and the Oilers got that win in game one. So, wrestling away that home ice advantage, these hot Oilers, they've won 4 out of the last 6 games
Final.
against the Vegas Golden Knights coming in, and they've also won 5 in a row here, pretty hot right now. Vegas here with that loss. They still have won 12 of their last 17 games at home, but big news here for the Oilers, winning their 3rd straight over Vegas. Overall, they won, of course, back a little more than a month ago here, 3-2, and then got that win 4-2. They also won at home 6-3 over the Golden Knights back in December, mid-December. So Edmonton, maybe they've shifted the tide here and up in this one, going up against the Golden Knights. Let's hear what you have to say. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams here in Vegas have gone under, including 4 of the last 5 games overall. Have gone under. Usually, this is a 6.5, just like it is here tonight. This is a playoff game. Of course, last game 4-2 was kind of going under all the way. There, they did get that late goal. So here you do have Picard in goal. Look, he's 22-10. He's got a 90% save percentage and a 2.69 goals against. Like I said, look, that's 32 games. And so we know Skinner played in a lot of games, but it's been Picard here in the postseason, been the better guy for Aiden Hill. He does have slightly better numbers than Picard here, but he's been the man for Vegas here this season, 32, 13, and 5 with a 91% save percentage here and a 2.47 goals
Final.
against coming into this one. Vegas is pretty terrific at home this season. They were one of the best teams in the NHL at home this season, but it's been a little bit tougher here of late. They're not, we know that, in that first series, there was a bit of a struggle there against Minnesota. Yeah, they did win it 4-2, but, they weren't covering puck lines as a favorite. A lot of 1-goal games in there, and they're still favored here in this one. And it's really up to, look at this, $1. Well, I think we should call it $1.35. This one seems to be all over the place. Actually, you're still seeing out there $1.35, $1.42 here for the most part. But $1.35 seems reasonable as Paolini closes out Lulu's son in a dominating effort there. All right, let's hear what you guys have to say in this one. Do have Edmonton so far. They've been going over in the postseason despite that last game going under in their 7 games so far. They are 5-2 to the over, but just 2-2 on the road over and under. Vegas 4-3 to the over, but also 2-2 to the over/under at home. Let's go to the chat here right now and see what you got with Edmonton and Winnipeg. Let's see here. We've got, well, Kelly, I don't think, so when we're talking about the 4, 5s, and 6s, to me, I'm not sure that the lines, I mean, look, the bookmakers know, bookmakers, mathematicians, all those, analytics sharps probably would tell me I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like they, you would think that, let's say the total in a game is six, right? Uh, well, I guess sixes are, but just for an example, and it's 110 each side. And then you move it up to 6.5, and well, maybe they say, and you're paying for a pretty big price, a dollar, what, $65 maybe is when it go should be $2. It feels like to me when you're moving a hockey game one goal, because like you said, yeah, it only lands on these particular number. Okay, there's a outlier here. In the regular season, you're going to have more of those games, right? 6-5 or whatever. But the postseason, I don't know if we're getting many of those these days, right? Here, so that's the way I'm kind of covering it. All right. Golden Knights here on the puck line for Cash Kane. He likes a strong return. Philly Eagle Flyer says here
Final.
to the over. And Jerry, thank you, Jerry. Yeah, our favorite, right? Man, maybe I should get on the ball here and really talk about our favorite here. Thank you, Jer. Uh, we got to mention our favorite player. What's his name? I'm gonna let Alexandria Alla what you said. Right. Well, maybe for Danielle, she's my favorite player, the older players. Can I do that? Oh, that sounds a little weird that I'm doing it there. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Vegas had the streak earlier. Like I said, they were pretty strong at home, right? One of the top 4 or 5 home teams this season. Talk about the Kings and their home dominance. Well, the Golden Knights were almost as strong as the Kings. Sancho likes the Oilers on the money line. Oops. Thank you, Sancho. And I think that'll do it for the matchup. I'm going under. By the way, I'm going under in the game here tonight between Edmonton. I'm going under in both hockey games tonight. All right. I think that's going to do it for the postseason games here. And we'll get ready to roll right now with our coverage of Major League Baseball. Get your rotation orders ready here a little bit. Let's move to it. Talk about the games today.
Critical notice. Steam playing.
There has been some steam that has come in here in Major League Baseball. Maybe I can just cover it here real quick and I'll let you know the moves that came in before. And I'm going to have to update this pitching change too. Maybe I can quickly look here. I'll pop it on the screen, see if the line has changed too much. Like I said, I don't think it has. It's basically about $1.45 or so still here. I'll bump it down here. Call it $1.50 maybe in the matchup right now. And total, mostly 8/28. So the total maybe has crept up a little bit here now that Ober is the designated pitcher in the game here tonight, this afternoon for the Twins. Of course, we are dealing with kind of split right down the middle. We got 4-day games, 4 night games, and one game in the middle is kind of a doubleheader. The second game between Detroit and Colorado. I think they're playing a traditional doubleheader here today, starting at 3:10 Eastern. So let's go to it with, let me write down Ober here, over Ryan. With Ober, good number. He's 4-1 with a 3.72 ERA coming in, but a 3.22 BABIP here for Ober. I was going to run it through here, the old X machine, and see if we have the. Did we see what the situation was with Ryan here in this one? We need the injuries. Actually, I'm just a little late to the party, I guess, because I was knocked out for so all night, pretty much. Ryan, maybe Joe Ryan's got what I've got here. So Joe was out with an illness. It apparently was announced about 8 hours ago, but I just I just saw it when we were on the show here. So just to let you know where I'm kind of. Headed here today. So the Twins look to complete the sweep of the Orioles here tonight. And look, the Orioles are kind of falling off here again, it feels like. And maybe the Twins are kind of ramping up a little bit. They're still under 500, but we know the Orioles are slip sliding away with this 4-game losing streak. It's the Twins that have won 4 straight, including the first 2 games of this series by the scores of 9-1 and 5-2 so far. Orioles are just 5-13 on the road here right now, but they do have Dean Kramer, who is durable but not good right now, a 5.73 ERA. His numbers are kind of gaudy. Actually, they're the peripheral statistics, if you will, the metrics would say these guys are kind of even right now. Talking about Ober now as the starter here. Twins are 11-6 at home so far this season. I know it's $1.50, but I'm going to take the Twins in this one here. And maybe you'll want to go -1, try to get that price down. You know, I don't do that here on the show necessarily, just try to keep it to money lines and run lines. But look, when I make a play, you guys can do your own variations of the bets here, right? If you want to take him at -1, that might be okay. You got Baltimore. Here's the thing: Baltimore lost those first 2 games to Minnesota. Remember, Baltimore had dominated this series for years. The last 2 years, I believe they'd won 10 in a row. I think before this series started over Minnesota, but still Minnesota the better team here this year for sure. Baltimore's gone under in 10 of their last 14 games, 11 of their last 14 now after yesterday, 11 of the last 14 after yesterday. Minnesota's also gone under in 6 of their last 8 games overall. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but Baltimore's lost now 5 straight on the road coming into this one. Let's go to the chat, see the way you guys want to play it here between Baltimore, already down 13.25 units this season. Minnesota hasn't been anything special either. They're down 7 units already. Minnesota's gone under in 13 and 20 to the under so far this season for Minnesota. With Ober on the mound, the Twins are 5-2. Let's go to the chat here. This one, I'm taking Minnesota just at this price of $1.50 here. We've got some plays. Here they come. All right. And we've got Sancho here is on the Orioles. Luis is on the Twins on the run line today. Twins first 5 here for Cascade. And Weedu says fade Kramer and fade Cooper Flag. Terrell says take the Twins on the run line, and Robert likes the over here in this one, and I like the over. I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota here at $1.50 as a free play. It wasn't any lower with Joe Ryan. I was going with Joe Ryan. I'm going with Bailey over. I'm taking the Twins basically against these Orioles that are in a funk. Here. This total could creep up here. I would imagine. Let me take a look here. I think we're starting to see the a slight move all of a sudden. I will say this as I peek at it here. Most of the books right now are 8 over 20. Bovada's already at 8.5 under 20. And, it's funny because you mentioned buying runs and what constitutes value. If I've got a book at 8 over 20 or even one at 8 over 15, like we see, I don't know if I have any at 8 over, but a half a run is a huge difference. In Major League Baseball, when you're talking, just like Kelly was saying about these, baseball, the same thing. Now, granted, baseball is kind of funky too. It's not like even like hockey. You could have one game go, as we've seen, right, 13-11, and the next game's 2-1. But that's almost worth buying the runs and creating that middle. Believe it or not. That's a huge discrepancy there. When you got one book at 8.5 over 20, like a Bet Online right now, and Bovada is 8.5 over 15. That's almost a whole half a run of difference. Jerry says Minnesota and over. Jermaine says Twins team total over and the money line. Terrell says Minnesota and Minnesota. Oh, that looks like a basketball. Hello to AOD here today. Thank you for joining us. Give me the Twins. Next up is the Rangers taking on the Red Sox here. And Brian Bello goes for the Red Sox. He's looked good in his 3 starts so far. A 2-0 record. 3-0 for all the Red Sox with Bello in there. 2.55 ERA. 2.29 BABIP coming in. Yeah, the Red Sox are favored here. Another favorite, $1.35. Maybe even $1.40 here right now. For Jack Leiter, don't call me Al, don't call me Mark. Jack Leiter. Here yesterday, it was a victory for the Boston Red Sox, 6-4 to even up this series. But for Leiter, he comes in with a 4.58 ERA and okay numbers, a little bit subpar for sure, with a 4.58 ERA, 2.74 BABIP coming in, 2.35 batting average. Yes, not bad. But both teams here around 500 at this time after the win here yesterday. Red Sox moved to 500. The Rangers are a game under 500. With that result there, did go over, which is kind of funny. The Rangers aren't going over in any games right now, it seems like, but they did yesterday. And they are currently, the Rangers, 12-25 to the under so far. Yes, most of those games have been at home for sure, but still, they've gone under in 6 of their last 7 games on the road here. The only over was yesterday. And 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Boston's won 10 of the last 13 matchups between these two, and Texas is struggling. They've lost 8 of their last 11, despite they had won 2 in a row before yesterday's loss. But they were having issues for sure. And Texas, though, I mentioned Boston with their home dominance over Texas, 10 of the last 13 here, but Texas still has won 4 of the last 5 between the two teams overall. Texas won a series last year at home. Oh no, it was a series early in the season, right? Earlier in this season, there at home. Okay, I'll get it straight. Forgot they had already met. Okay, let's go to the chat though here right now and see what you might do in this one with Texas and Boston. Texas, that offense continues to struggle. They're up to 3.3 runs per game. Oh man. Ooh. All right. Jerry says, give me Kramer in that Orioles matchup under in his outs. Thank you. Texas and under here for cash game. Luis is on Texas as well. And Jerry says Bello might be a little bit going to slow down here a little bit, off to a good start, but Sancho says Rangers money line. 9 Legacy says Red Sox run line. And Twisted says he likes Texas, but the bullpen struggling here. It's not awful. I mean, these two teams basically have the kind of the same ERA in the bullpen right now, right around 4. Rangers got the cash there in the first 5, apparently. Twisted might be going with a favorite here. Terrell says the Rangers, they're just swinging for the fences, right? It does feel like, yeah, the Braves, but I don't know. It feels like the Braves are better than Rangers, right, Terrell? Maybe producing runs one way or the other. Twisted for Robert likes the under here in this one, and how can I not like the under here in a day game in Boston? I'm going with the under as well. All right, let's move on with the White Sox here and the Royals, with Martin going here for the White Sox, and you've got Chris Bubich here for the Royals, and the Royals a big favorite. Bubich has been awesome so far, or good, I'll say. 1.98 earned run average, 214 batting average against for Martin here. He's 1-3 with a 3.52 ERA. Good numbers for Martin for sure. But 305 BABIP so shows that maybe he's been a little bit, dare I say, lucky. The White Sox are still 1-5 with Martin on the mound here, but they're going to lose to everybody. We know that. Still a huge price delay with Kansas City here for sure. But again, the White Sox, they don't really fare well against anybody. We know that, but Kansas City has been dominant in this series for sure. Yes, yesterday's game was only 2-1, and Tuesday's game was only 4-3, but Kansas City has still won 9 straight games now over the White Sox coming in, even if they can't win the run line here, it feels like. The 9 straight games between these two teams in Kansas City have gone under. Also, 13 of the last 15 meetings between the two teams overall. Kansas City's won 9 of their last 10 at home. They've won 5 straight coming in. The White Sox on the road this season, just 3-16, which, is bad, but at least they're 6-9 at home this season are the White Sox. Still, just a big-time mismatch for sure. It's just that the Royals are winning, but they can't cover the run line here. Now, don't fret. The Royals are 11-8 on the run line at home, but I think the one positive for the White Sox is they are covering some run lines. That's not, they're still losing, but they're not really getting blown out. They are above 500 on the run line this season. 11-8 on the run line on the road. 20-17 is all their games. They're underdog every game. They haven't been favored yet, of course. So can you do it, though? Can you still want to take the White Sox here in this one? Let's go to the chat and see. Because the thing is, you look at the it's basically a pick'em on the run line. Kansas City's -120, White Sox even money. But the White Sox are doing a good job, so to speak. All right. Yeah, Irish King says, not a heavy card. I know, we're almost done with the show, man. All right, let's see here. 9 Legacy says he'll try the White Sox on the money line today. How about that? And Keith, just truth. Isn't that right? I think that's what I had too, right, Keith? Not asking you. I'm telling you. I also had yesterday, and to take the over, though, yesterday, I took the over. I was dumb. These guys always go under. Come on. How are you going to take the over? Now, the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. If anything, it's making for a little bit of value. It feels like here. The total at 8.5. I have it 8 under 15. Forget about it. It's 8.5 over. This line is totally wrong. Now I got up kind of like when you're under the weather, you wake up in increments. I got up at like 1:30 in the morning and typed in the lines and then had to go back to bed. But right now, it's 8.5 over 15. It might be 8.5 at the sharp books, but the square books are already taking it over here in this one. It's not like these, for the
Team play.
Royals and the White Sox, you got two of their better pitchers. It feels like, hey, we're seeing some steam here right now on the game between Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Steam to the over. Spoiler alert, I'll be giving out the over as my play in the Philadelphia Tampa Bay game. So if it's something you're interested in, 8.5 is going up right now for sure. We're starting to see 9 under 20 at Bovada, 9 under 20 at DraftKings. The move is on. Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. I'm already going over. The show will be over before you know it, the way we'll give out the plays. But I like the over. Philadelphia is just smashing right now. They're just hitting home runs, and you got down the line there, right? You got Pepio going here, so you get those left-handed bats. What happens is the wind, it kind of goes out to right field a little bit, and that park isn't exactly big. So Philadelphia's been able to take advantage of with some of those bats, those left-handed bats. And Philadelphia's smashing right now. So total movement here on the over with Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Let's continue on, though, get a few picks in this one with the White Sox and Kansas City here. Martin's done a good job, man. Can the White Sox stay in there, though? Here we go. I lost my place here with your comments here. Jerry says KC and under, and also 6Ks for Bubich. And Kelly says she'll go KC and under as well. Terrell says, look at the low scores, Ramon. Don't forget 4-3, 2-1, 4-3, by the way, Terrell. But I know what you're saying. 4-2, 3-1. Same thing. White Sox first 5 for Cash Kane. Luis is on Kansas City run line. Philly Eagle Flyers got some kind of tie in there in the second inning. First 3 under and Nerfy here, I think. Jermaine says Kansas City -3. He says they'll roll today. NYC Bar, Royals on the run line. And let's see what we got here as well. We've got... Hey, there's Spoons. He says he's already on the over, and the Spoons just moved the line. That's what happened. Spoons laid into one, and the line moved. Spoons, you're supposed to wait until the show's over so we can get a good. So I don't have to. I can't bet here on the air. It takes got to pull away from the show.
Final.
All right, Philly. We're not quite there yet, Keith, but he's got his play there in Philly. And Jerry says maybe this one's going to be a blowout, though. He'll have to take the... Noli's here, everybody. There he is. And look, he's got this one under as well. Hey, Noli, try not to give away the premium picks in the chat here. Look, White Sox, we know how this has gone. And Noli, that's a double header. Now, I think that means the first game here, I'm sure, because I don't even think we know what the pitching matchup is officially. Do we in that second game yet? I think Detroit's going to end up with Keter Montero. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I think kind of says undecided on the sites here at this point. But Noli says making unders. Remember, folks, Noli is mugga. I don't know if he likes me saying that, but making unders great again with Noli. He says take the under in this one with Kansas City, and I think he means game 1. He'll tell us here unless he's already had to go. And Tampa Bay struggling. Not only, I mean, come on, Luzardo. We made fun of Luzardo, but I think we all knew that Luzardo was, had potential to be a good pitcher. We're going to get in that game in just a minute. We do says talking about the Orioles, they're struggling. I think that's what he's saying. Irish King says Philly first 5, team total. And Robert likes Kansas City on the run line. And let's see here. Philly Eagle Flyer might be liking a tie again there. And Noli said, yeah, it was game one there between Detroit and Colorado. It's funny because I think the thought process is, and you guys tell me if I'm, but we've seen some doubleheaders already this year because of the weather and whatnot. But to me, I think the instinct is, oh, it's a doubleheader. We know they get an extra pitcher to call up or whatever, but it does seem like there's kind of a rush by the teams too in today's newfangled baseball. We got to get that. Um, I'm interested to know what I'm interested to know. I'll go figure it out by tomorrow, I think. But over unders and double headers, Noli. I think the trend is under for the games going under in double headers. Not talking game one or game two. I'm talking every game. Or at least a majority of the games, more so under the way that. And remember, you're also usually in one of the games, possibly the second game. Sometimes you're getting some weaker lineups in there because you give the Stars off one of the games off a little bit. All right. Jermaine here says lay 2 with all these teams today. Ooh, boy, we're gonna have one of those kind of days. And Terrell there. Okay, I think that's it here. And Pasquantino, is he heating up? All right. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to try Kansas City one more time here on the run line today. I'm just going to make it my show play because Noli already gave out my sports money premium, but that's okay. I like the under that one, but official play will make Kansas City here on the show run line. I'll try them again. Hopefully they won't choke it. Maybe -1 is probably the way to go here right now because, like I said, the White Sox, they're doing an okay job on the run line. They're above 500 on the run line so far. As bad as this team is, I think we all can agree, as bad as the White Sox have been this season with their crummy 10-27 record, they might actually be slightly better than last year so far. Again, I think 6-9 at home, pretty bad record. I know, 400 winning percentage. The White Sox were so bad last year. I guess we can't even. They'll probably go in the tank here. All right, let's continue on here with. And Irish King says, let's go back to the full conference. Let's get rid of the division thing. All right, next up, we've got Tigers and Casey Mize going up against the Rockies and Kyle Freeland here. Noli already gave us the under here in this one. Why not? These two pitchers are combined 2-11 to the under so far this season, mostly Casey Mize. Really good numbers here, 2.7 ERA, 109 whip, good numbers for Mize. Detroit's won 5 of the 6 games, and Mize is 5-1, so I don't need to go any further here with these two right now. And Mize has been pretty terrific for sure. For Kyle Freeland, he's been Kyle Freeland. He's 0-4 with a 5.7 ERA, 361 BABIP. Yes, it's Kyle Freeland. Yes, you know what? He might actually pitch a little better at home than he does on the road, respectively. You're always going to have a little bit of elevated numbers, of course, in Colorado. Colorado, they are not a little bit better than last year. In fact, it feels like they are considerably worse than last year, and they weren't even good. Of course, we know they're 6-29 right now. Detroit, one of the best teams in baseball. It feels like right now with this 23-13 record. Hey, everyone, and especially Noli, if you're in there, I did give out the game between Texas and Boston. We're seeing some steam right now. I think we're probably going to. What's happening here, I think, is we're getting the Texas lineup. Maybe has come out because there's not only steam on Boston coming in, but also steam on the under right this second. Let me go back and check the line, see if we've got the lineup. I'll wait to get it officially. I'm not going to go searching through. It probably is out there on the X right now. If you guys want to check it out, maybe tell me who's missing, or I can try to get it. But with the Red Sox steam coming in and the under steam coming in, could we be seeing a key Texas bat? or two out of this lineup today because the move is coming in. Boston right now is all the way up to $1.55 now at some books, 20 cents higher already, and the total has dipped from that 9.5 after I just gave it out. That's what happened. But 9 over here, it looks like right now, as the total is falling quickly in this game. As I've, like I said, as I've moved back here to the game between Texas and Boston. So let me see here. Yes, we do have the confirmed Rangers lineup here. I think Smith, Langford, Seager. I think this is right. I think this is a lot. Peterson, Semyon, Garcia, Carter, Heim, and Jung. That can't be right because I think Seager is not in the lineup. That's what it is. Okay, so Corey Seager is out of the lineup today. This is his day off. It's just rest. This is just coming in off the high-speed sports wire here. That's why you tune into the morning steam. Corey Seager getting his day off today, out of the lineup. I know he's had a okay start to the season for sure. 281 in batting average, 4 home run. It hasn't been an overwhelming start, but it's Corey Seager, so he is out of the lineup today with rest here, and that has affected the line there for Boston and Texas. Okay. All right, and I'll go back to the comments here real quick. You might be commenting on the game between Texas and Colorado. I'm going to back up here a little bit. Jermaine -2 here, 9 legacy, Texas or Tigers run line, and Irish King likes Cincinnati on the money line. He says you're going to get Ladolo in that one. All right, Jerry, maybe first 5. You might be referring back to that game, I think there. And NYC bar, Tigers money line here. Oh, how about that? Is that breaking news right now? Oh man, I'd like to break this. That is. I'm real interested in that, Jermaine, and I've kind of let my tweet deck slide here because it's such a light day. But that sounds like big news right now here for the Ducks, for sure. Thank you, Jermaine. Yeah. How about it? Jermaine, nice job here. Quenneville is going to return to set to return as coach with the Ducks. So how about that? Quenneville going to be going here to coach Anaheim. I feel like that's a pretty good move for Anaheim. Thank you, Jermaine. Wow, big news here this morning. With Quenneville going here to Anaheim. Wow. All right. Thank you. Terrell talking about the weather there a little bit. And Nuke says, what are the over-unders for the Rockies in home games? Right now, so far this season, Nuke 6-9-1 to the under so far. And there's some story. Now, make no mistake, the Rockies are more on they've gone under more on the road. Now, granted, their crummy offense or whatever too is probably a factor in that. Make no mistake, Detroit is 13-7 to the over on the road, and just 4-10 to the under at home, where they're getting good pitching with their young starters there a little bit too. But they've already talked about the Colorado here kind of normalizing a little bit. It feels like, I don't know if they we know they do some tricks there to the balls, right? Humidor them up or whatever they do. So, and Weedu's pretty excited about it as well. Nuke says, hey, how about Tigers to win both games for just a little parlay here in this one? So that might be it for you guys here in the matchup between Detroit and Colorado. I didn't really cover too many numbers on it, did I? Detroit's won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. We know Colorado's struggling here big time. They've lost 6 of their last 7 at home, and Detroit's gone over in 7 of their last 8 games, but Colorado's gone under in 7 of their last 10. For the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over here with these two. But like I said, Mize seems like a real, I don't think it's a fluke. I think Mize is a pretty good pitcher for sure here. So, okay, I'll roll with Detroit on the run line here. It's a little shorter card, so maybe it's a little bit tough, but okay, let's move to the next game now. Let me see what we got here, because like I said, I don't know if we have an official word on the second game of the doubleheader for the Tigers, right? I do feel like it's going to be Keter Montero. Right now, I didn't even have a line listed, but I think we do have at least a line here now. At some of the books, it's like 175-ish. See if we can get it right here. $175 and the total 11. Okay, there we go. So, second game of the doubleheader does make it a little bit tougher. Oops, the Rockies are not $1.75, though. It's the Tigers. All right, so second game of the doubleheader does make it a little bit tough here in this one, obviously. And I don't know if you guys want to, like I said, Nuke already said, take the Tigers here. And look, I don't know if the total is going to be 11 when it finally gets. It is 11 here in this one. Maybe that does indicate we will get some runs here. Maybe I should trust the number a little bit. With this game, because look, maybe with the pitching a little bit sketchy. We saw yesterday. I mean, the score was 6-6 after 3 innings. So I'll just take the over here. That sounds fun. I think the line will be pretty close here to what you see there, and we'll see who pitches for Texas. But I think Keter Montero is maybe the one to start. It is going to be Gordon, I'm pretty sure, for the Rockies here. Gordon. So then we'll see a couple of. Yeah, we just better leave it at that right now. We let's not touch too much on this game here with this doubleheader here. And look, Jermaine, right? It got ruined, right, Jermaine? Do you think that the Orioles were like, we just got Luis Castillo in the steal of the year? No, you've got Luis F. Castillo, Orioles. You got the other Luis Castillo, but we don't have, and he had already been, I believe, not seeing too much action there, but with Luis, the real Luis Castillo. Nine Legacy says, hey, try the Rockies in game 2 of that doubleheader. There's Jerry talking about Tanner Gordon a little bit with a 5.5 ERA at Colorado. So is that Colorado Springs, right? So doesn't make much difference when you're going into Anaheim. And We Do says he likes the Rockies on the reverse run line here maybe today. They got the wrong one. We got Luis Castillo for a steal. And then the guy shows up. He goes, I'm Luis Castillo. And that's a bummer, though, I bet, I told the story a little bit. If you've seen it, Luis Castillo, the real Luis Castillo, the good Luis Castillo, kind of took that young pitcher under his wing a little bit and said, hey, you're Luis Castillo from the Dominican. I'm Luis Castillo. Let me help you out a little bit. And hopefully will work out for the Luis failure Castillo. All right. Look, I'm not going to talk about the doubleheader too much here. Let's get into the night games here. We've already talked about Philadelphia and the Rays here a little bit. I'm on the over in this game. It just feels like Philadelphia is smashing them in this series. They're really tearing it up there. Saw those home runs yesterday. Castillo, Bohm hit the home run as well. Castellanos is homered as well. Luzardo, 1.94 ERA, a high BABIP, so maybe he's pitched in a little bit of luck, but he is 3-0, and the Phillies are 5-2. It always felt like that. Luzardo, when they made fun of him, we all made fun of him a little bit when he was on the Marlins, but put him on a good team here, right? And look, I think it was safe to say he had pretty decent stuff with the Marlins. He just, tough when you have to pitch your team to victory there a little bit. He has decent control as well. He's a good strikeout pitcher. Yeah, he can get tagged a little bit, but the Rays, maybe they are slumping here a little bit right now. In these first two games, they've lost 8-4, and yesterday was 7-0. So, see how you want to play it here. But Tampa Bay is 9-15 in this little makeshift park right now that they got going. So, maybe you know what? Maybe the old O-ring park was the place to be. Maybe they'll fix that thing up a little bit. Philadelphia's won 8 straight games against Tampa Bay as well. Tampa's lost 6 straight games at home coming into this one. Tampa's gone under in 8 of their last 11 overall. So I'm going over, though, in this one with Philadelphia and Tampa. Here with Philadelphia maybe to do most of the damage here in this one, but I'm going to take over as my call here. Go to the chat a little bit. Look, Jermaine says, you know what? The Phillies are all the way back down to $1.35. I don't have that one. I don't know if I have that available myself. I think the best price I see at the books that I'm funded at, that's all I can do, but $1.40 at Bet Online. So maybe, and also this is a night game, so I don't think we've seen the lineups yet, but Tampa Bay, though, for JW, says Phillies will get the series win, but, maybe they won't sweep it. And let's see here. 9 Legacy says Tampa on the run line and take the first 3 under. And Spoon says, right, I mean, this is what it is. And Tampa, the ball gets up there. There seems to be like, what are they? Let's go to the meteorologist, Ramon Scott. A jet stream out to right field. Feels like a jet stream out to right field. Spoons is already on the over, and I am too. And Kelly says, team total over for Philly today might be her call. Good morning to Wine Time. He says he'll take the Rays, though, on the money line, go against Luzardo. You get him as a home dog. They're still the Rays, you guys. Let's not fret here, but having to play in that little stadium. Here's the funny thing, right? Was it on my screen at $1.48? I got $1. Oh, I see. Jermaine saying, Ramon, you're too cheap on the line. You're right, Jermaine. I'll update that. I got to put $1.40 here. Let me put $1.40 at least. Maybe $1.45. Let's put $1.45 for Jermaine. Because you're right, Jermaine. Right now I'm seeing $1.42 is the latest line of Bovada. So, anyways, when we look at the Philly here right now with this incredible streak that they're on here with this offense looking so strong and everything. They've won 8 of their last 10 right now. And here's what I was going to say. We know that the Yankees, right, had a lot of fans over there because this is the Yankees Park. There's a lot of fans in that neighborhood. They go to spring training. Of course, the whole connection between the Northeast and South Florida a little bit, and Tampa Bay as well. Not just South Florida, but in the Tampa area, Tampa, St. Pete. The Phillies are the home team in this game as far as the fans are concerned. There are a lot of fans there rooting for Philly, man, in this series. So it does feel like, they're Rays fans or whatever. Remember, we're only dealing with a park that, a small time park here. Kind of funny that baseball's fallen into this situation with the Sacramento and the teams moving a little bit. This multi-billion-dollar, sports league, and we're in these two rinky-dink stadiums here, and a little bit of transition. You know, 162 games. These are basically glorified television studios half the time. But you'd think that there'd be other solutions out there. I don't know. Stadiums are expensive, but baseball stadiums, they're not meant to be, big construction, big um, brutalist, if you will. Remember the days of Three Rivers Stadium and Riverfront Stadium and Veterans Stadium and Shea Stadium, right? It's not like that anymore. You can go build these outdoor parks. Should be a lot cheaper to build, I would think. Yeah, you want it to be fancy or whatever. Look at my Petco Park and everything, but they don't all have to be all, they should be able to build nice stadium. Why can't we have nice things? All right. Jerry's like Philadelphia and under. Luzardo to roll. Kelly Philly first 5. And I know when I used to build stadiums in Legos, I built the fattest stadiums you could see. All right. I think that's it from you guys on this one. And look, the Nuke, that's not bad, right, Nuke? It's not bad. They average 10,000 in the indoor stadium that seats 30,000. JW said, maybe Philly looks past it. Maybe they're getting ready for that Cleveland series. And are you living in the Circa Hotel? Tampa's an amazing place. Beautiful. And right, that's why they kind of need that indoor. That's what I questioned when I said earlier. I said, "Oh, why doesn't?" Because I'm so dumb. I live here in Vegas now for 3 years and know how hot it gets. But I was like, what you have here is a stadium in Las Vegas, right? Why wouldn't they just move the team to Las Vegas now and have them play in the Aviators Stadium and back and forth? The Aviators leave town. It's too hot. It's too hot here. That's why they have to build kind of the way they're building the stadium here in Vegas is going to have that partial there. And Spoon says you could have Spoon's got it. You had it. I did my Stratomatic field. I built a little stadium around it, and I even had a little tarp in case I had because I was only 12 years old, but in case I had a sneezing fit or something, I'd roll out the tarp. And Spoons, nobody in here else knows what Stratomatic is, but before there were, I'd play whole seasons of Stratomatic baseball. Come on. I mean, I loved that. Oh, I loved it so much. Did anybody just see the video of Keith Hernandez with his Stratomatic box? Here's Luis on Philadelphia. Robert likes Diaz. He likes Diaz to go over here. And let's see here. Twisted's got his plays here. And yeah, well, Spoon, you know what? Spoon's the thing is so we had Stratomatic as a kid because there were no computers. And but it is fascinating, right? Even the card, you could go all day staring at the cards, not even playing Stratomatic and trying to think of the numbers in your head, the sevens there. But then when the Apple computer came out, the old Apple, I'm talking about the slow, but there was a nice baseball game on the Apple computer that was statistics based and pretty accurate. And once that came out, we moved to the computerized version, and all the kids in the neighborhood had a team, and we draft the teams and enter all the data into the computers. And every day after school, you'd go over to the house, and everyone would play their little 3-game series with their other opponent on the Apple computer, and we just had a little fun time. And the other kids would go out and play baseball outside, waiting to start their 3-game series with their friend. That's what we did when we were in our teens. Okay, that's it for that one. Let's move on. Turn back the clock day here with the Reds taking on the Braves. Here you got Lodolo and Schwellenbach going in this one. Feels like a sneaky good pitching matchup to me here, especially with what we've seen in this series so far with low-scoring games between Cincinnati and Atlanta. Although yesterday's game was 4-3, it still went under. But first game was 4-0. Next game was 2-1. Then you got 4-3. And you got Lodolo here. Lodolo with pretty good numbers, 3.27 ERA and a 104 whip, 228 batting average against. Schwellenbach, 3.92 ERA, but a 1.1 whip and a 244 batting average against. Feels like Schwelle can improve. We've already seen the widely reported steam come in here on Atlanta up to $2 here at some spots. Doesn't seem to make much sense here, right? The Braves are playing like garbage. Here, I say it, I don't know if it's been absolutely awful, but they did have a 3-game winning streak before losing yesterday's game, but still, Atlanta this season just 17-19. The Braves are the Reds are at 500 here. Now the Braves are playing better at home. They are 11-6. The Reds, they're just 500 at home, 500 on the road pretty much, but you got Lodolo here. Good numbers. Just looks like it's too high of a line to me. Between these two here today at $2, right? You get the Reds on the run line at +1.5, minus $1.35. I think I got to take it. And oh man, I got to wrap up this show with this another Danielle Collins interview going on. I want to hear this. I haven't really heard from her about since coming back. All right, so I'll take Lodolo here on the run line in this one for sure. Maybe even a little money line in this one. Let's see what you guys have. Andrew loves Stratomatic. Maybe he likes Stratomatic. Anybody doesn't know what that is, maybe you should Google it. It was great. Let's see here. Luis is on the under. Billy Eagle Flyer likes to tie score. Here's 9 Legacy on the Braves money line. Jerry says he wants to be on the Reds, maybe with me taking him at least on the run line. That'll push them forward here a little bit. And Nuke says not only you look at the Braves record now, but remember they got off to a bad start. So are we seeing the better Braves here right now? All right. I think that is it from you guys here in this one. And I'll take the Reds on the run line. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll continue on. Let's get this show over with. Thank you, everybody. Here's the Blue Jays taking on the Angels here with Chris Bassett going here for Toronto. What can you say, man? Bassett? 7 straight unders for Bassett so far this season, 2.95 ERA, 324 BABIP. So, but still great control for Bassett here for Soriano. Hey, 3.83 ERA, but a 322 BABIP coming into this one. The widely reported steam did come in on the Angels here, and right now the Angels, they're a dog, but even I say the steam came in, but the line is now back up to with Blue Jays $1.25 or $1.30 here, it looks like, and the total's up to 8.5. So it looks like the move is on the over for sure here in this one with the Blue Jays and the Angels. But I don't know, the ERAs are good, are decent. Well, Soriano, like I said, nearly a 4 ERA, but he's still been okay considering the Angels have won the last 2 games, obviously, here against Toronto right now, 8-3 and 5-4. It looks like a lost weekend here, or a lost week for Toronto here, taking on the Angels like they're just looking past them a little bit. I think that's what we're seeing with Toronto on the road. They're just not playing well, 5-12 so far at this point. Still, Bassett should be the better pitcher here, but I don't know. Blue Jays just aren't hitting enough here. 3.5 runs per game. Blue Jays pitching has been bad, but it's a little bit better at home. we know how bad the bullpen has been. The Angels have the worst bullpen in baseball. Oh, no, they have Washington has the worst pen in baseball, but worst pen in the American League at 7 runs per game. So not good here. Toronto's actually been okay out of the bullpen, it feels like, at a 4.33, I guess, comparatively. Toronto also 5-12 to the under on the road because of those road woes. The offense just doesn't come through, it feels like, for the most part. Let's go to the chat, though, see what you have here. Angels, they can't hit very well. Here we go with Wine Time says, take the Angels. Luis is on the under here. And we do always talk about that Rays game back there. And Jerry says Bassett can roll against these Angels a little bit. And Nuke says it's the starters that are good, but the bullpen is not doing well. And Jerry says because Bassett has that good K rate, 28%, I believe, right now. Maybe I think it's down 26 to 26%. Angels made that comeback, got the walk-off last night against that Toronto bullpen that we mentioned. So I think that's kind of what's going on. I end up sneaking over. I went under because of that Toronto offense on the road, but it was the Angels that actually made it go over there in the end. Hey, everyone, we're seeing a little bit of steam right now coming in on that early game between Baltimore and Minnesota. We're just a few hours away, but the 8.5s are going to turn into 8s. In fact, Circa here, the sharpest book here in Vegas, maybe in the country, is down to 8 right now in that matchup between Kramer and Ober. So steam to the under here right now. The 8.5 unders becoming 8 here in the game between Baltimore and Minnesota. Steam coming in right now. Robert likes the Angels here. And OCAP says we can't have nice things because we always end up losing on the hook. I think that's what OCAP. Hi, OCAPs. Good to see you today. So with Toronto and the Angels here tonight, Cine Figure It Out says Angels first 5 under. Nuke, he's giving us a little bit of a sob story with Toronto. I know how it is for Nuke and those Blue Jays fans right now. And they're not doing much of anything right and can't even beat this team, it feels like right now. Give me the under, though. I'm still going to stick with the under here in this one, especially here at 8.5. I'm going to try it one more time. The Angels aren't going to get another 3-run rally here against this, but if anything, it'll be tough in the early going. Bassett might be pretty tough here. I'm going to try the under again. All right. But there he said, talking about it right now. They're the first 5 there. Runners there. He pushed on that under last night with 9. All right. And Sancho with his hockey plays there. Thank you, Sancho. Let's go to next. The Dodgers taking on the Marlins here with Yamamoto here and his 0.9 ERA so far. Yamamoto's 4-2. He's gone 1-6 to the under so far. But the widely reported steam came in on Arizona here right now, and it's down to maybe $1.55 or $1.50 here, but feels like it's climbing back up. The total here is pretty much 9. Might be shaded to the over at some of the square books right now. The sharp books are hanging a 9 for the most part. Steam came in on the over in this one, but I don't know. Yamamoto is about as good as they come. 0.9 ERA is superb with a 171 batting average against, 247 BABIP, and his 32% strikeout rate. For Brandon Pfaadt here, everybody's fodder is Pfaadt here a little bit, but the and I got the wrong team up there. No wonder I can't say the name right. I'm sure Jermaine's all over me on that one. There we go. There we go. All right. For the Diamondbacks here, look, Fox 5-2 so far this season with a 3.79 ERA, 1.2 WHIP, and 3.10 BABIP. Does show that Fott isn't overwhelming or great pitcher, but you know what? I've stuck by Fott a little bit. I was the kind of guy saying, just let this guy learn on the job here, and he'll learn and grow. And I think we're seeing that. I think this guy's going to be an okay major league pitcher here. Yamamoto, he's dynamite for sure, and might be able to mow these guys down here. The way it's going, if anything, I feel like getting that dodge or discount a little bit. Anytime for me, like I pretty much want to bet on the Dodgers every day, anyways, even if it ends up costing me. They're still up 5 units already, 5 1/3 units already this season, and anytime you get them at a discount, it feels like that's what I want. That's when I want to. That's when I want to take them. Is when the sharps end up steaming, or the line at least moves against them, and you get some kind of discount on the Dodgers. So let's see how you guys are going to play it here on this final game of our card here tonight with the Dodgers and Arizona. Dodgers have only won 9 of their last 11 games coming into this one. Arizona's lost 6 of their last 8 games at home and 4 of their last 6 overall. 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams here in Arizona have gone over, but 7 straight games between the Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks have gone over here as we kick off this series here between these two teams. Get ready for first look at the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks battling out here together this season. Go to the chat here with this one. Interesting, huh? With those a series of big time over, but we've got Yamamoto here going. All right, here we go. And Jermaine, he's always the king of these stats. He says Arizona 1-5 in series openers. Luis is on the under here. And Wine Time says a D-backs spot here, possibly. Sancho's on the Dodgers on the money line. And hey, hello to Dave today. Thank you, Dave. Nice to see you here in the chat. Great to see you. Dodgers first 5 run line here for Robert. And Vaught doesn't fare well against these Dodgers, it feels like. And Jermaine may take the Dodgers. Just twisted on Arizona here. Look, we're never going to sleep on these Diamondbacks, but for all that hype about look at the National League West, look at the Dodgers, look at the Giants, look at the Padres, look at the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are just 19-18 right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to hang with those other 3 teams here. They're going to need to start to win some games elsewhere because those other teams are kind of getting away, it feels like. Arizona, though, money line here for Twisted. Got to find some dogs, right, Jermaine? Maybe we are too many favorites here today. All right. I guess that's going to do it for the show. I'll make a pick here on the game between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers here with Yamamoto. I'll take the Dodgers here. I'll take another favorite. Give me those Dodgers. Woohoo! Dodgers. That's going to do it for the morning steam show. I don't think we don't have any other, we don't have any UFL or anything like that today. Now, there are a couple college baseball games later this afternoon, but mostly a light schedule. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. SF9er, nice to see you today in the chat as well. Let's run the drawing here, I guess, real quick. No, you know what? We didn't have – there were no consensus plays. Nobody said anything. I didn't say anything. And we took all these favorites here, but I don't know if we have a drawing here today. We didn't have any consensus plays at all. We need Thomas back. Do you think Thomas is ever coming back, you guys? I don't think he was mad. I think he just he's playing tennis in the morning. Oh, Jerry, who do you got? He says, who do you got? They're just teeing off, you guys. And Jerry, I've got my plays over there at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll do the commercial, at least anyway. Not going to make Jerry go, well, I want you guys to sign up with me over there. I've got my top plays in PGA. They're just teeing off here right now in the tournament in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. So check me out over at winnable.com there. And if you would please, and I got my top 6 golfers over there right now, but also there is the video from Mikey and Jeff. They did their preview. There's still time. Go watch the video right after this. Get their plays as well with the coverage here, so you can get on these golfers here today. This is a good tournament for sure this weekend with the Truist Championships in Pennsylvania. So please check that out and get my plays as well. I'll have some premium plays in Major League Baseball. I've reduced the cost to just $3 a day, but really it's 56 cents a day if you subscribe to 1 month. And this is how you support me here on the channel. If everyone canceled their subscription today to my picks, I will probably quit doing this and go join the senior pickleball tour. So check me out over at winnable.com. Or what else was I going to do? Oh, I know what I was going to do. If everyone unsubscribes, I'm going to go open my new pizza restaurant named after the next pope, Pizza Balla. How does Pizza Balla not win? Now, I know he's 8 or 9 to 1, and these Cardinals are in their little conclave about ready to send out some white smoke here today, probably, or maybe tomorrow on Friday so they can all get home. But how can you not go with Pizza Balla? And I'm going to name my new restaurant Pizza Balla. Come on. I myself, I like to say that I am a bit of a Pizza Balla. How does Pizza Balla not become the next pope? Don't give me the Italian guy. Don't give me yes, Pizza Balla is Italian. Although I do love me some Filipino, you get those chicken skewer, those are great too, but you got to go with Pizza Balla for sure. As the next, I'm going. Pizza Balla was 8 to 1 to be the next pope. That sounds like a good bet. Okay, that's it for the show. Thank you, everybody. Join Mikey Money at 6 p.m. today, 3 p.m. Pacific for pre-gaming. You get you ready for those playoff games and the 4 night games in Major League Baseball today, and we'll be back tomorrow with more morning steam here on the show. We'll have a full card of weekend action getting ready to go. So thank you for joining me here on the show. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We had a great time. Great comments, great picks, even though it feels like we're chalky today. It might be dangerous. So thank you very much for joining me here on the show. And I think that is going to do it. Oh, did I miss the Rangers and the Reds? No, yeah, we did. Spoons. I went with the under in that game. That's why we mentioned when that steam came rolling out there late. I was already on the under, so that was my official play on the show. Thanks to Spoons for his comments there today as well. Thank you, Robert, for everything here, your contributions to the show as well. All right, for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
We make a 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money.